Well, I think we are learning and growing as well as coaches, and our players are learning and growing. You got to remember, this is, for some of these guys, it's, a third offensive system in so many years. And so, I think scaling back, making sure we don't go too fast, not trying to be too complex early. I felt like if we gave them everything early, it would have just been, there would have been no growth at all this entire season. And so, I think our guys, a lot of credit has to go to our kids and our coaches. Coach Manning and our offensive staff, I think, has really buckled in and figured out what our guys can do and giving them a great plan, and really our kids putting the time and the effort into executing it and really starting to get good at the detail of what we want to do and what we want to become. And, it's not perfect. It's not, but there certainly has been great growth there, and we continue to make great strides, and we're going to need to if we want to continue to compete and win football games down the stretch run here for us. Yeah, I do think it's the older guys. I think sometimes that's been our hardest challenge, to be honest with you, in 8 months is resetting the mindset and resetting the focus of what it takes to be successful. And sometimes I think you can get ingrained in a culture where success isn't happening. And, again, how do you define success? That's why you hear me so much talk about, I'm so invested in how we play. What's our effort look like? What's our attitude look like? How do we prepare? What are all those things? Those are things we can control. The score of the game takes care of itself when you deal with all those other things. And to me, that's been our great challenge. I think I said it from day one is, really resetting the mindset of this football program, of our process that it takes to be successful, our day in, day out process. And a lot of the young guys, I think those are guys we've recruited. Those are guys that I think have come from maybe a culture that looks like that, because we put a priority on that in recruiting. They've been able to adapt to that maybe a lot quicker than even some of our older guys. But boy, oh boy, I don't know if I could be any prouder of the growth that a lot of our older guys have made in our program over the last 8 months, but really specifically over the last month and a half. I think our guys have really shown a lot of courage and a lot of guts to be able to do what they've been able to do and what we've asked them to do, and I appreciate that from them. Well, the biggest thing is 22 missed tackles, and those are, again, some credit there's got to go to Baylor, but a lot of it's got to go to how do we continue to get better in those areas, and who do we funnel the football to who's making those tackles, to why are they missing them, and again, those are things that we just got to continue to get better at, and those have showed up. I think Randy asked after the game this past week, it showed up at Iowa, it showed up again here. Those are situations for us that we have to continue to get better at if we want to play good rush defense. And I think some of that is just our ability to continue to get better at those spots. It's not not scheme. You're talking about guys that are 2-3 yards in the backfield, and next thing you know, those are 20 and 30-yard gains. It's tough to it's tough to stomach, but we got to do a better job coaching it, and our kids got to get better at that fundamental.